oil in complete violations of UN sanctions. That just, again, shows you what a stupid paper tiger the United Nations is. Let's all sit there and raise our hands and harumph and, demean and degrade the United States while taking our money, and then go behind us and do the exact opposite of what they promised they're going to do. And if you don't think those people should have our hard-earned money cut from their pockets, you're stupid. I love liberals' faces falling off at how dare we cut funding to countries that hate us and want to kill us. That's the stupidity of liberals and Democrats. Anyway, but that follows earlier in the week intel reports of what? Spy satellites catching Chinese ships giving oil to North Korea. This goes to show you, folks, that China, even though President Trump went Nixon when he went over to Asia and saw inside President Xi's soul, and he's a good dude and he's going to help us out with North Korea. No, he's not. He's not. So Trump, either you sit on President Xi and he sits on his little nephew, or we're dealing with a nuclear-armed North Korea. Not only that, we're dealing with a North Korea that has anthrax, smallpox, you name the crap that would turn your face literally inside out. They got it. All they have to do is put maybe an airburst bomb over the West Coast, and there goes about 50 million Americans dead in horrific ways. All those Spike TV shows about The Walking Dead and stuff like that. It ain't too far off, folks. So I hope you got your AR. Oh, that's right, California. It's an anti-gun state. You probably don't have your AR-15. So enjoy your pestilence. Russia's still playing around in Syria. Syria's still hot. An L-39, an airplane I actually currently fly down here in South Florida. It's not armed as a fighter down here, but an L-39 from the Syrian Air Force was shot down. You can see it on this video clip right here. It's kind of chilling. But still a lot of tension in the Arabian Gulf. Iran and Saudi Arabia are poking each other back and forth, and something's going to give. I mean, when you're launching ballistic missiles at another dude's capital and palaces, something ends up giving. We covered emerging markets yesterday and on Wednesday in our year-end wrap-up and our 2018 brief. I still think the EWZ is going to be good in 2018. Our Brazil trade, we'll talk about Amazon in a second here, but we're EWZ. We put on a wow, look at that. We put on a bull put spread right here. This trade is up about 90%. You're looking at a $2,000 profit in essentially, what was that, a week and a day. So you're welcome. There's a good Christmas and a good Happy New Year on one trade on the EWZ. So that thing is off to the races. You're welcome. That's an early birthday present for me, too. Here you go for all your Bitcoin lovers. The Bitcoin Exchange CEO was kidnapped leaving his office. This ain't some Liam Neeson thing, folks. You're dealing in a absolutely unregulated. I caught myself. I was going to say security. It's an unregulated something where there's clearly I can't even use the term insider trading because there's no laws against doing anything in Bitcoin. But the dudes are getting kidnapped. Employees at these exchanges are front running trades and printing money. A lot of Bitcoin billionaires out there on paper, and yeah, being a Bitcoin billionaire just got a bit more complicated after the CEO of Exmo, the UK-based Bitcoin exchange, was kidnapped in Kiev. A black Mercedes, folks, this ain't Hollywood. This is real life. And a group of armed men wearing ski masks grabbed him and put him in the car. Guess his Bitcoin's gone. We talked about how this week the journal said the U.S. economy can't keep surprising investors. They ain't surprising me, folks. We knew this. We knew that we were going to have a massive Christmas. MasterCard came out the other day and said it blew the doors off of everything in recorded history for MasterCard as far as spending. So going to be a Merry Christmas. For a lot of companies. It ain't for Apple. Apple had to deal with and has finally answered the slowing down of older iPhones. I knew they did that, folks. They're a business. And by the way, it's not illegal. It's Gordon Gekko. I love that Apple does this. I'm not an Apple guy. As an American, I'll tell you it's disgusting that they did this. They'll slow down your older phone to force you to get a new one and spend more money. God bless America and Gordon Gekko. As an American, I go, that's bullshit. It's horrific. How dare they? But who cares? As a portfolio manager, I think that's great. But they've been really put on the defensive lately about this slowing down. They tried to give us some lie about, oh, well, we do it for the battery. And it's to see them squirm through their excuse matrix was comical. And they got hit with bad news this week about cutting shipment sales and lukewarm demand. We'll talk about that in about about an hour here. We're at peak leverage, folks, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You see the blue line here? This is the S&P 500. okay, back to, what, 1995. The red line is margin debt on the New York Stock Exchange, meaning people trading on loans. It's usually, what, below the S&P 500. The last time it peaked above the S&P 500 was when? Right before the 2008 tsunami. Ever since then, actually, margin debt is more than the market. So you could look at this chart and say we might be over leveraged here, Wiz, but it's following everything perfectly. It ain't doing a spike through and then we implode. So I get why, people say, hey, are we at peak good times? Because people are, really trading on margin. I don't think, though, that if it's irrational, it's all sorts of crazy stuff. I don't feel an overheated market. I feel a hot market. But again, folks, with the tax reform really not even hitting the bottom lines yet, I don't. You can't keep this market down. This is comical. Wall Street traders miss out on record markets. So this year, since you had this, they're complaining that it was hard to make money. Well, it was hard to make money if you're stupid. And this is actually some of the financials. Our Death Star that I love to hate, Goldman, is going to take a $5 billion charge related to their tax overhaul. The bank is likely to post a loss for the fourth quarter. What did I say, folks? They've posted, what, 3 out of the last 4 quarters, 3 of them have been losses. And the last quarter was, what was the headline? Everybody remember? Goldman surprise beat. You don't want to be in a financial stock where the headline is they beat on earnings, but it was a surprise because we thought they'd suck. Our JP Morgan last earnings headline was JP Morgan crushes it. So you want to be in JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. You don't want to be in the Death Star here. They're taking a $5 billion charge. You ready? It will negate much of its full year earnings. Who's your buddy? Who's your pal? Who's Uncle Wiz? Uncle Wiz has been right about Goldman Sachs. Boom. It's almost as doing a Tesla move. Sideways, a little bit of a pop, and it's going to drop. That is awful news for Goldman Sachs. Amazon. Before I put trades on, sometimes, folks, I say what? We are a tweet away from something really bad happening in a stock. Now, Amazon is holding its own after the president today blasted well, it didn't blast Amazon. God bless Amazon for exploiting our stupid government. Another example of why Obamacare should have never been passed. Amtrak. Amtrak, the air traffic control system. What other corporations does the government own? The post office, the IRS, the DMVs, just models of good business, right? So this is funny. The president's like, the United States Post Office, which is losing many billions of dollars a year while charging Amazon so much little to deliver their packages, making Amazon richer and the post office dumber and poorer. He just called a bunch of post office employees dumb and making yourself poorer. He's right. He's saying what everybody's thinking. The post office is a ridiculously. Why do we have a FedEx and Amazon? We do not need a U.S. post office. Get rid of it. It sucks, and the president pointed that out today, that they should be charging Amazon more. Amazon shrugged it off down a little bit. So don't worry about our bull put spreads. That's a hold, because next week this tweet will be forgotten, and they're going to come out with their, oh my God, Amazon, we own Christmas forever. Tesla, we covered this week. Tesla, the guy has a problem with the truth in a lot of SEC documentation. It's inaccurate, incomplete, and misleading. We know Jim Chanos did an interview on CNBC a couple weeks ago where he said Elon Musk has a problem with the truth. So don't give me this whiz. Their orders are going through the roof. Folks, just like in that Seinfeld episode years ago, anybody can take orders. It's keeping them or delivering them that's the issue. Tesla, it's not doing a dead cat bounce here, folks. This is stop, and then I just don't see any good news on Tesla. That bear call spread is a hold and still looking pretty good. Okay, so all right, folks, we had some consumer confidence. We had a Chicago PMI that was a beat. So a little bit of brown and green shoots throughout the week as far as the economy, but net, I remain cautiously bullish on this our last trading day of 2017. Absolute epic 2017. 17, I predicted Trump. I predicted this market rally. Every one of these pullbacks, I said that was not it. That was not the Fred Sanford, grab your chest and I'm coming, Elizabeth. This was a buy. Even this one. I'm going to rain fire and fury down on North Korea. I'm going to disintegrate a country full of people. Buy. Trump's a racist because of Charlottesville, and he said there's good Nazis. Buy. And then we haven't looked back. The other pullbacks to the left side of the radar screen that aren't pictured were the Jim Comey memo. He's a dirty, disgusting cop and destroyed the FBI, and also the failure to repeal Obamacare. Every pullback year to date has been political and a buy moment. I'm cautiously bullish up to the top right. To the bottom right here is war in North Korea, sitting on China, or Iran and Saudi Arabia fighting it out. Up here is good earnings, defense stocks. The FANGs might have an interesting year, as I talked about. I'm putting Facebook on the back burner. A lot of legislative issues, man. The lights really are starting to come on the kitchen. There ain't no collusion between Trump and Putin. I mean, this started with like Trump and Putin literally colluded to steal the election. Now it's turned into we had our own secret police force at the FBI and the Department of Justice heavy saying, even if there's no way this clown's going to win, let's get some dirty dossier crap. Let's make up some shit, get a warrant, and listen to what he's doing so we can figure out what to do. Oh, my God, he did win? Well, I got an insurance policy. Let's go after this dude. It's treasonous. People should be in jail, and in the old days, they would be shot. In the old days, this was a coup. In the new days, this is just kind of politics, right? And we let FBI agents retire with full pay and everything like that after it's found out that they're dirty and they were seditious and committed treason. It's awful. So I'm looking forward to other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how's the play? I'm looking for a great 2018, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys at 1 o'clock, my members, and it's going to be awesome. We had a record 2017, and I'm looking forward to a great 2018. If you are a member, close the business today, folks, 5 o'clock today. If you don't have a voicemail or an email into support that says, I want the lifetime membership at the current rate, January 1st, folks, it goes up. So save $2,500 by calling us today, okay? I got to run. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys on the other side.